Today's deck is a really exciting one. We are playing Sultai Eternal Command. So if you haven't seen any sort of Eternal Command decks work, the premise behind this deck is that you have an Aether Vial that you tick up to 3, an Eternal Witness, and a Cryptic Command, which would allow you to play a Cryptic Command, countering a spell, and then whenever you wanted to counter another spell, you can just tap the vial, flashing in your Eternal Witness, who gets back your Cryptic Command, and then you can cast the Cryptic Command, countering the spell, and bouncing the Eternal Witness back to your hand. So basically, it's a 3-card loop that allows you to counter a spell. And there's a reason this deck, you don't see it anymore. It's just not good enough for Modern. This deck took down one of the first major Modern tournaments when the format was introduced in the hands of Shouta Yasooka. Now, he played a teamer version of this deck, but I wanted to try something a little different and see if we could replace the red with black. So on to the individual card choices that we made. So instead of using Tarmogoyfs as our primary beater like Shouta did, I decided to go with Grimflayer to give myself a graveyard delirium theme. So I'm running 4 Grimflayers as my major beater. Grimflayer is powered up by 4 Thought Scours, which can put an instant plus whatever 2 cards it mills into the graveyard, 2 Mishra's Baubles, which are artifacts that cycle themselves, and by Collective Brutality and Jace Vryn's Prodigy, which will allow us to discard cards from our hand to help power up Delirium. I really like having a card that lets me draw and discard because I'm not going to want more than the 1 Aether Vial, so if I ever draw duplicates, having a way to pitch them to get a new card or to get additional value is something I think is going to be very good. The rest of the threats I'm running include 2 Snapcaster Mages. I'm only running 2 instead of 4 because the 2 Jace Vryn's Prodigy that I'm playing sort of fill that role of flashing back spells. And I like having the 2 and 2 split because Jace is a more proactive thing I can do on turn 2, whereas Snapcaster is really only good on turns 3 and beyond. I'm also playing 2 Tasigur. Tasigur is a very good threat, especially when powered up with Thought Scour. Thought Scour means you can play Tasigur on turn 2 very easily. Thought Scour means that with 1 fetch, you can play Tasigur on turn 2 if you Thought Scour on turn 1. He's a large threat I can get down quickly, and he gets me additional value with his ability. Now, the Delve is a bit of a non-bo with Delirium. If I'm forced to delve away Baubles or Planeswalkers, then that can make it harder for me to turn on Delirium for Grimflayer, but I still think that it's a good card I want to have. I'm running 1 Traverse the Ulvenwald. This card can fetch up a Tasigur, an Eternal Witness if I have the Vial, Grimflayer if I just need a cheap beater, or Snapcaster Mage if I need to flash back a spell. It's just a very versatile card that I wanted to include 1 copy of. I have 2 Liliana the Last Hopes. This is a really great card that can buy back creatures that I mill with Thought Scour or that my opponents kill. It's just really versatile and fits in with this graveyard theme. For removal, I'm running 3 Fatal Push. Fatal Push is just that cheap instant speed interaction that I'm going to need. And I'm also going to run 1 Maelstrom Pulse, which is sort of a catch-all in that it can take down Planeswalkers, big threats, really pretty much any non-land permanent. It can also take out multiple threats if I run into multiple Hollow Ones or Pyromancer tokens. Moving on to the sideboard, we have some cards that will help us grind out matches. Glenelendra comes in against control decks. I think that having a way to counter spells that I can buy back with a Liliana tickdown is really powerful, even though Glenelendra Archmage is pretty expensive. I'm also running 2 Countersquall. I like this card a lot and would love to be playing a deck where I could run 4 of them. However, this isn't the deck, but I am fitting 2 in my sideboard. For Graveyard Hate, I'm running 3 Surgical Extractions. Since I have Snapcaster, Surgical's very powerful since I can cheaply flash it back. An alternative is running Leyline of the Void, but I went with Surgical because of the Snapcasters and because I typically like to run 4 if I'm going to go Leyline of the Void, and I just couldn't find that 4th slot since I want everything else I have in my sideboard there. I have 2 more Collective Brutality. This is kind of a concession to burn. I don't see that deck a lot, but my deck is very self-damaging with all the fetches and shocks. So I needed a card that can run double duty against these aggressive decks like Burn or like Humans, something that can kill a creature while gaining me life. It also has the additional use of being good against control decks as sort of an expensive duress that only hits instant and sorceries. I'm running 2 Damnations for any sort of deck that's going to go wide on the board. I'm running 1 Liliana the Veil just to hedge against Boggles or any deck where I want additional discard. I'm running 1 Engineered Explosives, really just anytime I'm playing a 3+ color deck. I like having 1 Explosives because it's just such a catch-all, and Modern is such a broad format where really anything could be played. And finally, I'm running 3 Abrupt Decay. This is just really good because it hits artifacts, it hits enchantments. So if I run into Blood Moon or Ensnaring Bridge, I have an answer in Abrupt Decay. I can also just use it to kill off creatures if I run into Humans or Affinity or some other deck that's got cheap, small threats. And that's the deck. That's Sultai Eternal Command. I'm really excited. I've always loved the Teamer version that Shouta originally played, and I'm excited to see what Black can bring to the deck now that we've had such powerful cards printed like Fatal Push, like Liliana, like Grimflayer, that didn't exist when this deck was first conceived. All right, we're here for match 1 of this league with Sultai Command. We won the die roll, so we will be taking the play. Ooh, okay, so we are a little land heavy. We have the Eternal Witness and the Cryptic Command, though. Even though we have no interaction, I'm going to keep this. It's probably a little greedy, but this deck needs lands, and it needs these 2 cards, so we're gonna keep. So we've got double green, double black, double blue, so I don't know what we want with this blue to delta, so I will just play a Watery Grave tapped and pass the turn. Likely, it's going to be another blue source, and probably another black source, but we will see. So our opponent plays a swamp and passes. It's a basic swamp. Don't know what that means. Scour's good. We're going to scour ourselves, and I'll put something in our graveyard that we can Eternal Witness next turn if we want to. So I do want a green source. No, I think I'm still on board to get the second Watery Grave. And yeah, I'm still. I think I'm going to fetch before I scour, just in case I mill it. Horror of the Broken Lands. You got it. So this is some sort of Living End deck, possibly black-blue with As Foretold. That's what I've seen. That seems to be really popular. Okay. Wow. Okay, 3 Street Wraiths. Okay, now it looks like he's playing the traditional Jund version. So now if I mill over a creature, it may be right to just let it happen. Is my opponent going to... No, okay, so he's letting this resolve. Not going to pay the life. Yeah, okay, so Simian Spirit Guide. That's what I figured. My opponent's Violent Outbursting. Okay, well, we're going to scour in response. Do we get a creature? No, we hit 2 lands, and we drew another land. Oh, no, that's essentially the worst possible thing. This deck looks pretty standard. Yeah, not seeing anything revealed that jumps out to me. Carry Zevs is good to know about, so we will have a way to play a Living End that's in his hand. And we're basically just dead on board here. Drawing lands has not been good, and milling lands has not been good. Well, we're going to play an Eternal Witness because can't do much else. We'll get a Scour, and then next turn we can Cryptic to bounce his guys, or to tap down his guys. He's coming in for 9-13. need to cycle 3 cards for this to be lethal. So I'm not going to block because I may need this witness I may need to bounce it back. I don't think this deck runs a lot of like bolt effects. That's annoying. Wow, he didn't take the Grove, but I think I'm still dead. I think I really needed Cryptic on this turn. Yeah, because I mean he's got lethal just coming in. So Fulminator was good. When we are on to game 2 already. That was a fast start out of my opponent with 13 power in play on turn 2. Surgical is good. We can just get every single living end out of their deck. And Damnation's obviously good. Liliana's bad. Brutality's meh. Countersquall's probably better than Brutality, but I'm still not excited about it. Same thing with Abrupt Decay. Explosives isn't good. Lendra's interesting because I can counter spells when she comes back as a creature. Like I don't mind having more creatures, but these 5 definitely aren't coming in. Push is bad. All of his creatures cost more than 3. Or 3 or more. So he has Fulminator they can hit, but Fulminator is not good. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of these cards. They're not going to be good in this matchup. Same thing with Inquisitions. Like, he has Carry Zevs and Thoughtseize is really not good either. I don't want to be getting creatures out of his hand. So I'm gonna get rid of these 7. I'm gonna bring in some counter squalls, try to counter that thing before it comes in. So let's get these. Is Glenalendra, that's the one card I think I could bring in. Maybe I trim a Vial. Yeah, let's try that. Just an extra card I can scour into my yard. Alright, we will play first. And we will keep. It's a little land light, but we have the Extraction. And we have Snapcaster to snap the Extraction. And we have a turn 2 play in Grimflayer. So I'm gonna go, and I want to land, so I'm just gonna play the Marsh. I'm not gonna play a Misty, and then my deck of lands. Yeah, the power of his hand really came from, or the power of his of last game from him came from having 3 Street Wraiths in the yard. He only used 1 mana cycle, so he's not gonna be able to do that without a lot of Street Wraiths. And I've got the Surgical Extraction this time for that. So I should be good against another blisteringly fast start like he had last game. Yeah, now that I drew that, I'm just going to get a Watery Grave. Maybe that should have been a reason for playing that, to not shock myself here. Okay, so there goes 1 Street Wraith. I'm not going to like Surgical it now. If he's got a Street Wraith in his hand, he can just cycle in a response, so no reason to do that. He didn't fetch for a land so he can cycle next turn. I'm guessing that means he has no 1 mana cyclers in his hand, which is probably good for me. Tap Blood Crypt, so he's not threatening Simming Guide, Cascade Spell. Countersquall is good. I'm going to start by swinging in with Grimflayer here. Don't want the Vial. Probably don't want the Flare. So, I'm trying to think if I want this 4th Tomb. It lets me Glenalendra the following turn, but I don't even want to do that. I do want to hit my lands though. So I will bin the Vial and the Grimflayer. Okay. And I'll keep that on top. And I'll play a Breeding Pool. Pay 2 life. Nope. And the reason I want the land is because I'm likely to counter Squall if he gives me a target. Yeah, that's fine. Just because then I can snap counter Squall on my next turn. And also playing counter Squall gets this Grimflayer up to a 4/4. But he missed his land drop, no land 3, discarded a Fulminator down to hand size. That's a little awkward. Well, we're going to swing in. Yeah, I'm going to bin Liliana and a Verdant Catacombs. And I'm going to keep this. I'm going to fetch an island with it. It'll give me my 3rd blue for Cryptic. And then the following turn, on my turn 5, I can play Glen, Elendra, and hold up Negate with it. So, yeah, I'm going to leave this on top. Play this tapped. I don't think it's worth holding up Counter Squall, Surgical Snap, Surgical. That seems excessive to me. I mean, maybe my life total doesn't matter that much. Like, the extra 2 damage probably isn't that big of a deal. So on my upkeep, he's going to try to... yeah, okay. So, upkeep, Living End, Counter Squall the Living End, Surgical the Living End, and I'll pay life here. He's got Surgical in hand with a carry Zevs. He's got a choke. Oh my god. Well, I have a Maelstrom Pulse to deal with that. Yikes. He only runs 3 of them, but they're gone now. So this carry Zevs is a little awkward. Violent Outburst isn't very good. So, okay. Do my land for turn. Swing in for 4. Probably don't need more land. I think now I'm at the point where I'm good against lands. And next turn, I'm not going to be able to Pulse and Jace because this Breeding Pool won't untap. But I think I still want it. This is probably just going to be a basic island, so that's fine. But it's possible I should have fetched prior to hitting with this. Okay, so he plays the choke. Not a surprise. Not going to fetch. Breeding Pool doesn't untap. I'm going to Maelstrom Pulse this. Yep, it's gone. Swing for 4. That's going to get him down to 1. I have a Collective Brutality. That should be lethal. Put away Vial. Yeah, put away E-Witness. But I'm going to leave Tasker on top. I guess I should have fetched. Whatever. I can still just get an island anytime. I'm going to swing in. I've got Snap Counter Squall up, so I'm not sure what he can have here. Yeah. Okay. We got that game on the back of Grimflare. And the Surgical was not amazing. I mean, it got rid of a card in his hand, and like I said, stopped him from carry Zev Living End. So that was good. Do I want to bring in Abrupt Decay to deal with Choke? Is that better than a Collective Brutality? Let's try shaving a Cryptic Command on the play. Actually, let's just cut more Aether Vials. I don't think I'm going to be comboing him. I think if I can just get rid of his Living Ends, then I'm going to win this game. So I'm just going to play to that and not try to play to lock him out. We're going to keep. We have 2 lands. We have Collective Brutality into Surgical. We have Jace. So this whole hand looks good. Another land is good. I want black-blue. So I want black-blue. I need a second green. I need a second. So I need a black-blue. I need a green-blue. So I'm just going to need a black-blue with this. But I'll just do it at my opponent's end step. Okay. It's fine. Brutality, getting rid of a instant or sorcery. Okay. So Demonic Dread, that's good. If we'd played the Jace, he could have dreaded that next turn. So he's got 2 Cyclers, Spirit Guide, and 2 lands. I do want to get the Jace down so I can start discarding these creatures. So he cycles 2 of his guys down. Horror. So with Horror being 3 of his threats, if he goes land, Spirit Guide, Cascade, I can just kill 3 of those guys coming back, and all he'll get is a Ceradon, which is still good, but a lot more manageable. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Don't need to Thought Scour. Well, I'm trying to think if I want to hold up Thought Scour or play the Creeping Tar Pit. I don't think I need to. I'm just going to play this. Opponent F6 through my turn, so don't know what that means. Yeah, so he's going to need more cyclers for Living End to be an issue. Okay, so another Ceradon. I'm guessing he drew that because he didn't... Oh, evoked Shriekmaw. Interesting. Yeah, you got it. Jace is down. Oh, nice. Another Jace. Yeah, I'll play it. Seems good to me. My opponent didn't play a 4th land despite having multiple lands in his hand that I knew about. I'm not sure what that is. Do they play any sort of like looting effect? There's the mountain. Leyline of the Void. Well, we will scour ourselves in response. And might as well Misty as well to get Breeding Pool, to pay 2 life. Nope. Another Surgical's not bad. I could just get the Horrors and the Ceradons out now with that. Draw. Man. I'll get rid of Glenalendra. It's going to get exiled. He has a Verdant, a Simian Spirit Guide, and a couple unknowns. Well, I need to get the ret down. So I am going to Tasigur. Okay. Oh yeah. Tick up the Jace, obviously. Not gonna Thought Scour him. Not gonna Thought Scour me. Yeah, so if he Living Ends, he gets back a Shriekmaw. There's the Verdant I knew about. I think I took out the Pulse. Just check my sideboard. No, I still have the Pulse, so I do have an answer to this Leyline. Okay. Simian Spirit Guide comes down. I'm not too troubled by that. I'm just gonna make it an O2 and fire up this Tar Pit. So we'll get him for 7, maybe only 3 if he jumps the Tasigur. Okay, our opponent is just passing the turn. We will continue to tick up. The one consideration for not swinging with Tar Pit is if he has an instant speed Cascade. That could be bad. You know what? I am going to Snapcaster Brutality. And I'm going to use 2 modes. Get rid of this thought. Let's get rid of the Eternal Witness. Because I don't think it's going to be that good. So, get an instance or sorcery and drain them. Beast Within. Huh. Okay. Alright, so there he does have a Living End. So, we'll just take the Living End. Surgical Living End. So he's got no more Living Ends. Don't see anything in his graveyard that's terribly exciting. He's got a Shriekmaw and a Spirit Guide. So he'll be able to Shriekmaw the beast. But Creeping Tar Pit and Tasigur are going to make short work of him. Actually, I'm just going to Surgical... I'm going to Surgical the Shriekmaw on his draw step. Just so he can't Shriekmaw my beast away. That gives me lethal this next turn. Oh, well, no, it won't, because he'll have the Yeah, it will. No, it won't. But yes, it would. So if I got rid of the Shriek Maw, all he has is the Simian Spirit Guide plus whatever he drew. So yeah, looks like that does it. We were able to take down Living End through a ley line. Turns out all you need is Surgical Extraction and take away their living ends.